I will warn that there are, of course, spoilers for the subject of this video. If you wish to avoid them, I'd recommend you simply come back to this video after you've played it. Or don't. You have free will. Pepper Grinder had been on my radar ever since I'd seen talk of it several months ago now. Seemed up my alley, a digging-oriented action platformer with a helping of puzzles. What's not to love? When it went on sale and I finally bought and played it about 2 months ago as of recording this, I found the gameplay loop quite enjoyable. Simple, and embraced its drill theme to a great extent, with every pickup and temporary item revolving around, and usually with, the drill. The title seemed to know what it was and what it should be. The levels that exhaust a mechanic or gameplay element had plenty of them. Everything finished at just about the right time, leaving me satisfied with what I got and willing to welcome more. On top of that, the background music is genuinely quite good, a great complement to the gameplay loop. Eventually, I hit the first boss and found it rather underwhelming. Still, I pressed on. More fun levels, got to the end of the second world, and its boss wasn't much better. But now I was on the third world and thoroughly enjoyed trekking through it. Third boss came and was a drastic improvement. And the fourth and final world seemed to be building up to a grand finale. So I got to the final boss, and he totally failed to live up to his immediate predecessor, which frankly really hurt the ending, as since I didn't get much satisfaction out of defeating the big bad, more just an understanding that I didn't have to deal with him anymore. The bosses simply aren't as interesting as the world they inhabit and limit your movements, making them feel rather out of place in this otherwise fast paced game. I will say, I can acknowledge the final boss's second phase is on paper a decent way of mixing limited terrain and keeping your mobility alive, but it's really nothing particularly engaging, as there isn't much gain to doing anything other than waiting until it's time to move, and I don't really consider limiting my platforms to be inherently interesting. It has to be accompanied by something more to do anything other than just annoy me. Such issues persist through most of the boss fights. I should note, I have not and will not show the final boss, as I want to minimize spoilers to those which are necessary and want to preserve at least some of the secrecy of the ending. The combat is incredibly basic, which is not bad nor implicitly so, as execution matters infinitely more than complexity or difficulty. With all bosses and enemies, you deal damage by ramming your drill into them, optionally employing your dash, and avoid taking damage by dodging attacks. You might end up slamming into an enemy and taking them out accidentally, or maybe you'll have to go around to find their weak point. Some dig like you, forcing you to prove they're better. Others cause problems outside the dirt paths where your mobility is far more limited. But the bosses, for the most part, do not interact with the world like that. They feel like normal bosses for most 2D action games. You dodge attacks and wait for damage windows. They do not invade your space, have unique counters to your abilities, and might not interact with the digging mechanic at all. It feels as if it stops being this speed and agility or precision based game and instead turns into this bizarre half action platformer. You will not be given any special tools to fight, nor any way to deal extra damage. You will always deal precisely the same amount of injury to a boss. That is, unless you've lined up things just right, and you end up staying in their hitbox long enough to let their damage window reopen as their invincibility frames disappear. But that's the best you got. You will never get stronger, not permanently at least, but the enemies and bosses most certainly will. As such, boss fights end up feeling more like a battle of attrition rather than an actual challenge. Just dodge until the boss gets close and get your damage in. This obviously sounds like a normal thing for a boss, to be patient and watch for the damage windows, but it's a problem when they move and behave like they're from an entirely different game. To try and better illustrate my point, I'll show off the first boss, Beetle Rider. Now, Beetle Rider isn't the worst boss, but as the first, he's the one which sets the precedent. As he rides literally around the stage on his big bug, you try to dodge his attacks and camp out in your chosen area of the dirt cluster to bait him into passing over and allowing you a chance to do some damage by first ramming into the beetle with your dash, then spamming the action button until he falls off, where you can hit him until the game decides he's had enough and cuts you off. Once he returns, his cannon is now more powerful and will pierce through the dirt, not damaging the area, just making it dangerous for as long as the laser cannonball is present. He is slow moving and can be mistakenly goaded into reversing his rotation, meaning you'll have to wait even longer before the damage window reopens. Once he's off again, you are allowed to get the exact same count of damage inputs as before, and then he gets back on, acting even more aggressive, and you have to do the same thing a third and final time, ensuring exceedingly little variety in the boss fight. It's slow and methodical, which is the opposite of what I want out of this game. Hi, this is from the edit. You have to get him off the beetle actually a couple more times than that. I don't know why I got it stuck in my head that it was 3. It's not 3. Don't get me wrong. Slow and methodical battles can be fun, but when I have a character built for fast-paced action, it's an unwelcome setting. Also, yes, I'm not good at the game. That doesn't affect my belief that this is an unengaging boss fight. I would much have preferred the bosses be drilling races, or at least like the one boss I think they did do rather well, Mint. She's much closer to what I'd want out of a boss fight. At first, she behaves like she's going to be a fairly standard foe, hopping up and down awkwardly with some haphazard music accompanying her. But then, the beat drops, and she reveals her real drilling capacity. She challenges your ability to avoid attacks and drill optimally. She has counters and clear telegraphs you have to watch for. The previous domination of the dirt, snow, what have you, is gone. You must have speed and finesse to beat her. She's exactly what I'd want out of a boss in a game like Pepper Grinder. Well, at least what I want out of a boss in an arena setting, but she's sadly the only one. Honestly, the game is fun. I like just exploring the levels and seeing what stupid stunts I can pull. But when the bosses, bookends of the worlds and the game itself, my supposed final challenges, are so outside of the previously established gameplay loop, it hurts the overall experience. If you want a simple, fun platformer, this game really does deliver. It's satisfying just tearing through the levels at blazing speed, and the music is an excellent accompaniment. Just know you'll have to tolerate a couple underwhelming bosses to unlock all the actually fun levels. I do think this is a worthwhile game. I will absolutely check out a sequel if and when it comes out. Just please, make the bosses follow the standard Mint set.